Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with the lesson Circulatory System. In the online class, I had explained you regarding the red blood cells. Today we are going to start with the lesson, the introductory part. And in this lesson, we are going to study about the two fluids which flow in our body, that is blood and lymph, the structure and working of heart, blood vessels, circulation of blood, and the lymphatic system. Almost all organisms, including humans, have some kind of fluid circulating in their bodies, and such fluids constitute the distributing system, that is, they supply substances, as well as collecting system, that is, to pick up the substances to and from the various parts of the body, including the remotest cells. And in this chapter, we will study about the circulating fluid in our body and its composition and function. So first we come over to why do we need transport inside the body? It's very much clear that things have to be transported from one part of the body to the other, and for that we need transport system. And every organ in our body requires the involvement of circulating body fluid. For example, the digestive system. The digestive system digests the food and absorbs the nutrients. The walls of the intestine absorb the nutrients which are needed to be transported to every cell of the body. So from the wall of the intestine, the nutrients diffuse into the blood, and it is the blood which circulates in the body that it distributes all those nutrients to the various cells of the body. Next is respiratory system. You all know we breathe in air, and the oxygen which is picked up from it in the lungs has to be transported to all the parts of the body. So when we breathe in air, the air reaches the lungs, and in the lungs, those alveoli, they are surrounded by the blood capillaries, so the oxygen diffuses into the blood, and it is the blood which carries the oxygen and distributes it to each and every cell of the body. And in the cells, as a result of respiration, carbon dioxide is made, and that carbon dioxide is again it diffuses into the blood, combines with the hemoglobin, and is carried to the lungs. And in the lungs, the oxygen and the hemoglobin, they break up. The carbon dioxide and the hemoglobin, they break up. Carbon dioxide is removed when we exhale out air from our body. All the extra water and the excess salts and the nitrogenous waste. So extra water, excess of salts, and the nitrogenous waste such as urea have to be removed from different parts and have to be sent to the excretory system to be thrown out of the body. So the waste material also, it gets dissolved in the blood and is carried to the kidneys, and in the kidneys the urine formation takes place and the waste is removed. The nitrogenous waste is removed from our body in the form of urine. Next is the hormones. The hormones which are secreted by the endocrine glands are directly poured into the bloodstream, and it is the blood which carries it to the target organ. So it is the blood which circulates these hormones. So all such functions that need transport are performed by two circulating fluids, that is the blood and the lymph. And besides transport, these fluids have some other functions also. We'll do those also. First, we are going to study about fluids in our body. The fluids which are there in our body are blood, tissue fluid, lymph. Blood, it is contained in the heart and in the blood vessels of the circulatory system. And tissue fluid occupying spaces between the cells in the organs. You know, these organs, they have spaces between them, and those spaces are filled up with the cells, and those cells contain this fluid. So it is present between the cells. That is, the organs have spaces between them, and that space is packed up with the cells, and when those cells are spaces called intercellular spaces which are filled with the tissue fluid. Then lymph, which is contained within the lymph vessels. So lymph is contained in the lymph vessel and the lymphatic organs such as the spleen and the tonsils. Next, the above three principal fluids in our body are respectively the blood and lymph, which are described here in this diagram they have shown. And this diagrammatic representation of the relationship between the blood, the tissue fluid and the lymph as they circulate in their respective vessels or spaces between the cells in different organs have been shown. And it is clear from the diagram that the blood in our body circulates in closed manner. See, blood from the heart first goes to the lungs, gets oxygenated, comes back to the heart, and then from the heart to all parts of the body, and then deoxygenated blood from the body parts is collected and then poured into the heart. So this type of circulation, it is closed, because from the body and heart to the body cells, and from the body cells with the help of blood vessels, and from the body cells to the heart. So that is why it is called closed blood circulatory system. And as against this, in certain animals, in the animals like insects, the blood mostly flows through the open spaces in the body, and open blood circulatory system is there. The fluid just flows in the body spaces. No vessels are there to carry it. That is why it is called the open blood circulatory system. But here, from the heart, the blood vessels carry the blood to all the parts of the body, and from the body parts, the blood vessels again carry it to the heart. So it flows in a closed manner. That is why it is called closed circulatory system. And their blood flows from the heart to the body spaces without vessels. Now, the color differentiation, you all must have seen arteries are red and veins appear to be bluish. And conventionally in the diagram, we show arteries in red color and veins in blue. This color differentiation is not wholly true. The oxygenated blood transported by the arteries is bright red in color. But the deoxygenated blood, which contains more of carbon dioxide, is dark red in color. It is not blue. But if you ever look at the prominent veins on the arms of your hand, especially in the old people, outwardly they look bluish, and that is due to the less thicker muscular walls of the veins. Now, there are even non-circulatory fluids in our body, and there are also some other fluids located in particular organs, such as the synovial fluid. Synovial fluid is present in the skeletal joints, in the cavity of skeletal joints, in the knee joint, and vitreous humor is present in the eye. They do not circulate. Next is the properties of blood. The blood is never stationary. Blood is always in motion, that is from the heart to the arteries and back through the veins again to the heart. And color of the blood is somewhat it is the thick fluid, somewhat bright red in color, and when taken from an artery, or dark red in color when taken out from a vein. And volume, an average adult human has 5 to 6 liters of blood by volume. And taste, it is salty in taste. Perhaps we have all tasted our blood, as in the case when there is a cut in the tongue or bleeding from the gums. It tastes saltish. And even blood is slightly alkaline because it has a pH value of 7.3 to 7.47. And you all know 7 is neutral, neither acidic nor alkaline. So it is little more than that. So blood is salty. So this much for today.